Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So for today I have a plan with me. So I'm going to kind of go through how I do my budget, how I plan my week, working with the budget planner as well as the productivity planner from Fun, Cheap, or Free, which is done by Jordan Page. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then I definitely will link them above. I did an unboxing in May when I got these planners. So we're going to start with the budget planner. So I'm just going to review my numbers for May, which is what helps me to make my budget for June. So especially if you are just starting a budget, it will take you a little while to actually get into the swing of things of hitting your numbers. I used to be more strict, and then I kind of loosened up on myself, and I'm just trying to be much better with my money and more intentional with my money of where it is going. So I really wanted to do better this year, which is why I got this planner. So these are my actual numbers, my actual budget. Hopefully this will help somebody if you're having problems with a budget of where to start. So after your first month, this is all my budget of what I budgeted for, and this is what I actually spent. So for rent, 12.17 or 12.16.50. To me, it's basically the same. $40 for utilities, which is what I put on it. Then recreation was my other category. I budgeted for $150. I spent $432.92, which is obviously more. My cell phone bill was more for some reason, so budgeted $75. It was actually $81. It should go back down to closer to $75 next month. My internet was $110. I paid $111. Subscription services, I obviously get a bunch of subscription services. I budgeted $200. I actually paid $175.55. True Local is my meat box. I get my meat delivered every month, so that is $250. Savings, I budgeted $400, but I actually saved $300, so getting close. I was close to that number. And then food, I budgeted $200. I spent $368. I don't know what I was thinking I'm going to spend $200. That was never going to happen. That partially was my fault. I should have at least budgeted $250, because I do my grocery shopping on Sundays usually, and because of the amount of how many Sundays they were in a month for May, this definitely should have been more. But it was still over even that much. So my main area that I am focusing on spending less is food. Yes, I know my other category was more, but I got more money than I was planning. I got an extra amount from the government for child benefit. And there was a bunch of stuff on sale that I got for my daughter as well as for myself to stock up on. So it was a conscious choice because I knew I was getting more money. So I spent that money stocking up on some sales, because people had some May long weekend sales that I wanted to take advantage of. So it was, yes, I went over, but it was a conscious choice and I knew what I was doing. This amount is way too much. Definitely am going to be focusing on getting this amount less. The cost of food is ridiculous. But even so, and obviously I love to cook, but even all of that being said, I get my meat delivered. So this amount should definitely be less. So that is my main focus for June. So then going to June, this is the calendar. June is a great month because I had 3 different paychecks. the way that I do my calendar is that I put the paychecks, I put anything that I know for sure, like a holiday or something is coming in, whatever is going on, like for example, Father's Day, and then I decide my spending freeze. So I do 1 week, I do a spending freeze. My goal is to do it 1 week every month. I think that will definitely help my budget, and it definitely will help my food bill, is my main reason for doing that. And then I'm going to put in my bills as they come in. They do come in towards the end of the month, so they'll probably be paid in this month. I just kind of pay them as soon as I get them, is kind of the way that I do things, but I will put things on the calendar once it happens, especially because I'm not working, there's not a lot of stuff that I have pre-planned to do. So I'm just kind of putting things as they happen. Then this is my actual budget. So like I said, there's 3 paychecks this month for June that I will be getting. Again, I've been laid off because my company isn't fully open at the moment. So I'm on unemployment, and I know the preset amount that I most likely will be getting, give or take $1. Then extra money that I get from the government. So this will be my total paycheck amount for the month of June. Then my rent is always the same. Utilities, I always budget 40. Cell phone, I budgeted 80, though it should be closer to 75 or less this month, at least I'm hoping. I just changed my cell phone plan, so that's why it's kind of in fluctuation. I changed it a little while ago, so that's why it's kind of going up and down, because it was a lot more, and then I lowered it because of the internet and stuff to have on my phone. Internet is more or less the same, so 111. Subscriptions, I always budget 200, though I'm not sure, just because a lump sum. And then basically what I'm going to be doing is I'll make sure that whatever subscriptions that I get will be underneath that $200 mark. Other, I budgeted 300. There are a few clothing subscriptions that are having releases that I know that I'm going to want to buy 1 or 2 things. So that is why I put 300 as opposed to the lower amount, but 300 should be about it. I budgeted 300 for food. My goal is to get it under 300. I definitely think if I really do the spending freeze and I do it correctly this month, really planning it out, that I should definitely be able to get it under 300. That is my goal. If there is an amount that you are struggling to get the amount lower, like if you know that you're spending a lot of money, so for example, I realize how much that I'm spending a lot of money on food, go a little lower each month. So it was $368. My goal is to spend $350. The next week will be $280, and $270, $250. You get the idea. So go a little bit lower every single month. With May, I went too low too quickly. So you want to do it more gradually. It'll just be easier for you to actually hit the number and actually get used to having an actual budget. This is my meat subscription. And then savings. So basically the way that I do it is I do a zero-based budget. So I put in the bills that I know for sure, my bills that I have to pay, that I will pay regardless. Then I do amounts for my other categories. So my food, my subscriptions, my other, and then my meat box if I'm getting it for that month. I add all of that up. I minus whatever that is from my total amount that I have coming in, and then whatever is left over goes into my savings account, which is how I got the 800. I'm guessing I will probably have a little bit more than that, but my goal is to spend 800. I have a cushion in my checking account. I always have a cushion, but when I do the budget, I do leave a little extra leeway, whether it be $50, $100, whatever it is, just in case, something comes up or my bill's a little bit higher or whatever it is, just so that I can actually make sure that I have a goal that I will stick to. The point of doing a budget is to have goals that you will actually stick to, that will actually be done. Well, I do a zero-based budget. I do think it's important to leave a little bit extra, just in case you go over for something, and then whatever I have left over will go into my savings account. So let's say I have $50 over in case I do spend more on food, or I do have something that comes up that I need to, go somewhere and pay for a cab, for example. Then I have the extra money that if I need it, I can still use it. And I think that's a very important part of a budget for me, is to do that. And everything else is pretty much not filled out yet. That's the page I was looking for. So this will be June 1st to the 5th. That is not a full week. I fully realize that, but basically at the very beginning of the month is when most of my subscriptions come out. So that's why I have that here, because I want to make sure I'm tracking that. So this will be mostly for my subscriptions and what I have coming out at the end of this week, from the 1st to the 5th, and then I will move on to the next week. So that's kind of how I do my budget. Now I'm just going to go over my Plan With Me planner. So plan out my week, plan out June, I should say. Okay, so excuse the lovely drawing that my daughter did. Okay, so meal plan. So this is how I do this. This is everything that I have in my house, all the food that I have, fridge, pantry, freezer, the whole shebang. So I write all of that down first. Then as I'm going through, this is my actual grocery list. As I'm going through and writing everything down, I write down anything that I notice that I am out of. So when I was doing my inventory, I noticed I'm out of butter. I noticed I was running low on brown sugar. I was going to run out of peanut butter. So the first probably half of this is just stuff that I knew that I was going to need regardless. After that point, I then go on to my phone and I look at the flyer. And on the flyer for the grocery store, I go to Food Basics. So on the Food Basics flyer, I then write down the things that are on sale, and that I will stock up on, and that I will get the things that are on sale. At that point, I then make my meal plan based on what I have here and whatever's on my list. So I try not to add too many things onto my list that are not on sale. So basically I try and do my grocery list. My grocery list and my inventory is what I use to make my meal plan. I hope that makes sense. You want to do things that are on sale, and not necessarily just buying what you think you need. Like make your meal plan around things that are on sale and in season, because it will be cheaper. So for example, I made pasta primavera today because they had asparagus that was on sale for like $1.88, which is on here somewhere. There it is. So that's why that was on there, because I knew that I was going to buy that. So that is an example of that. This is just my to-do list for this week. of all the things that I want to do and accomplish. Pretty self-explanatory. Then for June, this is the June calendar. Again, I do things as they come along and as they happen. Because I am not working right now and I'm home, I do make a plan, but it's not like a month at advance plan kind of thing. And we can't really go a lot of places because everything is still closed here in Canada. So I will just write things as they come along. So for example, for May, it was Mother's Day. This I wanted to keep note of. I was a little hormonal for whatever reason. Because this day I went to my mom's. This was someone had a launch. Then my building, they had to come into my apartment from 9 to 1. So like things that happen along the month, I kind of put it in as they come. Then this is my monthly tracker. So this is where you track whatever you need to. So these were my trackings for last month. And then you just write down whatever habits that you want to keep track of in here. So for example, one of them I know that I'm going to put reading because I'm really trying to focus on reading and expanding my mind. So that will definitely be on there. Then after I do that, at the beginning of every week, the one thing that I do know is I work out every morning. So at the beginning of every week on every Saturday night, I go through and I plan out my workout schedule of what I'm going to do each day. I always work out in the morning. So this is Beachbody. I do Beachbody every morning. I do at least one program depending on how long it is. I usually work out for about an hour, whether it be cardio or weights or a combination of both. It's like a trainer and it's like videos that you watch with a trainer and you do it along with the trainer. I then will do another one. So these are just ones that I know I'm doing an actual schedule. So you're supposed to so for example, day 57 and the next day would be day 58. And it's like a calendar that you follow. I do at least one more workout or getting exercise in this day. So whether it be Zumba is something else that I'm doing, or going for a walk with my daughter, or stretching, or a combination of both. But I will plan that the day before. So tonight I will put that in there because it just depends on the weather, and what's going on, and if something happens, and all that other stuff. Then on this, I do put the meals on this side. So while I do have a meal plan, things don't always go to plan. So for example, today, I did make the beef noodles. I did eat the beef noodles and I did make pasta primavera, but I didn't do the soup. So I highlight the ones that I've done. And then I will change it up if I have to, just based on anything that is happening. So I'll write down my meals and what I have planned to make for tomorrow. I put notes of what I want to do, any extra things that I know that I want to focus or do or accomplish. I am starting to track my steps, so I now have step goals that I am starting to figure out. So that's one of them. I hope that helps in some way. That is more clear, and helps you just to be able to plan your life and schedule things accordingly, and just get more on track. If you like this, definitely give it a thumbs up and like the video. I will definitely be welcome. I'll be open to doing more of them, and seeing you for you to see me actually plan and use it, if that helps you to be able to know how to plan things out and be more productive in your day. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely and fantastic day.